Join Kids Hut family.
Tia, you recite so many stories to me that are full of morals, but you have never recited your favorite story to me. Which one is it?
Tofu, that's true. I haven't yet recited my favorite story to you. Would you want to listen to one of my favorite stories?
Yeah.
Jack and the Beanstalk. Once upon a time, there lived a widow with her only son, named Jack. Their times were really hard, and they were living in poverty for long. Jack was too young to work and earn money. All their house furniture and other belongings were sold off to carry on with their basic daily needs. Until at last they were left with a cow, who used to give milk every day, and that they used to sell off in the market to buy bread. One day, the poor old cow didn't give any milk. That's when Jack suggested his mother,
I think we should sell off this cow and get a good return in bargain.
So Jack left to sell off the cow in the market. On the way, he met a butcher.
Oh, where are you going, Jack?
I'm going to the market to sell off this cow for a good bargain.
Oh, why take the trouble to go that far? I have a very good deal for you.
He took out 5 strange-looking beans from his pocket and handed them to Jack. Jack looked little hazed as to what kind of good bargain it is.
Oh my God! They are so beautiful. What do you call these?
Beans, magical beans. If you plant them overnight, by the next morning, they will grow up and reach the sky.
Wow! Mother would be so happy to see them. Thank you, Mr. Butcher.
And off went Jack happily to his mother and showed her the magical beans. But to his disappointment, she only got angry at him and shouted,
Off you go to bed right away.
She threw the beans outside the kitchen window and into the backyard and went off to her bed, crying and weeping. The next morning, when Jack woke up, he saw outside his window, and to his surprise, he saw a great beanstalk reaching up to the sky.
Oh my God! This beanstalk is so huge! I need to climb this up to see where it leads to.
He climbed up and up and up till his home looked a mere spot on the ground. At last, the stalk ended and Jack found himself in a completely different place. But suddenly, a beautiful lady appeared and said,
Hello, Jack. You don't know me, but I know you and everything about you. The castle you see there belongs to a giant who stole all your father's money and killed him. Your mother had kept this secret from you to protect you. He owes you, Jack.
The lady disappeared in thin air. Jack kept standing there and thinking,
He surely owes me and my family.
Far away, where the road ended, he could see a huge castle. He went up to the castle and knocked on the huge door. A giant woman opened the door. She looked scary and howled at Jack. What do you want?
If you please, ma'am, would you kindly give me some breakfast? I haven't eaten anything since yesterday.
The giant woman, though looked cruel and ugly, had a kind heart and offered Jack a huge plate of English breakfast, but warned him, "You must finish quickly before my giant husband comes back and eats you." Then suddenly there was a huge knock on the door, and the wife picked up Jack and hid him in a huge empty kettle. As the door opened, the giant entered and roared,
Fee, fee, fo, fum. I smell the blood of an Englishman. Be he alive or be he dead, I'll grind his bones to make my bread.
"Nonsense! You're mistaken. It's the ox hide you smell." So he sat down at the table and ate the ox that his wife had served him as breakfast. After he finished, he asked his wife,
Get me my money bags.
He started counting his money, but he was so sleepy that he slept on the table. The whole room was roaring with his snore. Jack, taking an opportunity of this time, got out of the kettle, picked up the money bags, and ran towards the door. Before the giant woke up, he climbed down the beanstalk and to his cottage, and did not look back even once. He took a sigh of relief and ran to his mother.
Mother, look what I got. We are rich now.
The mother and the son lived quite comfortably. Till one afternoon, when his mother was away, he decided to go up to the giant's castle and see what was happening there. So he climbed up the beanstalk and reached the castle. There, standing at the door, he saw the giant's wife again. But she didn't recognize him because he was dressed impeccably this time.
If you please, ma'am,
He said,
will you give me some breakfast?
"Run away, you little boy! Last time a boy came, he stole my husband's money bags." But since she was kind-hearted, she offered Jack breakfast. At that very moment, the giant knocked on the door, and quickly she hid Jack in the oven. The giant entered and roared,
Fee, fee, fo, fum. I smell the blood of an Englishman. Be he alive or be he dead, I'll grind his bones to make my bread.
But the giant's wife once again assured him that he is mistaken and offered him his huge breakfast to eat. After eating his food, he asked his wife,
Get me my golden hen.
The wife got the hen, and the giant roared in his voice,
Lay!
That very moment, the hen laid a golden egg, and Jack was left amazed with what he saw. No sooner he saw the giant slipping into his deep sleep, and once again he came out of the oven, picked up the hen, and ran for the door. In the meanwhile, the hen began to cackle. The voice made the giant move a little, but he kept sleeping. Jack climbed down the stalk and went straight to his mother and gave her the golden hen. The mother and the boy were so rich that they had money greater than even what they could spend. One day, he was sitting idle. The thought of the beanstalk crossed his mind again, and he decided to climb it. No sooner he was at the castle, but this time he decided not to be seen and climbed the kitchen wall of the castle and hid himself in the oven. In came the giant, roaring louder than ever.
Fee, fee, fo, fum! I smell the blood of an Englishman. Be he alive or be he dead, I'll grind his bones to make my bread.
But the giantess was quite sure that she had seen no little boy that morning, and after grumbling a great deal, the giant sat down for breakfast. As soon as he got over with his breakfast, he called out to his wife,
Bring me my harp! Sing!
ordered the giant. Soon the harp started singing the most beautiful sounds ever heard, and no sooner the giant fell off into his deep sleep. Jack, who was waiting for this moment, got out of the oven and climbed the table to grab the harp. But as soon as he started running off with it, the harp started shouting,
Master! Master!
The giant woke up just in time to catch the sight of Jack running out of the kitchen door. With a fearful roar, he saw Jack running with the harp and dashed after him. Little Jack ran as fast as he could, while holding the harp tightly in his hands. The giant, taking terribly long strides, gained on Jack, and he would have been caught if Giant had not slipped over a boulder. Before he could pick himself up, Jack began to climb down the beanstalk, and when the giant arrived at the edge, he was nearly halfway to the cottage. The giant began to climb down too, but as soon as Jack saw him coming, he called out,
Mother, bring an axe!
The widow hurried out with the chopper. Jack had no sooner reached the ground than he cut the beanstalk right in two. Down came the giant with a terrible crash, and that, you may be sure, was the end of him. But the mother had a very important advice for Jack.
Jack, what the giant did to your father was bad, but you should not have been so greedy. He reaped what he sowed, but greed is also a bad deed.
Jack agreed to his mother and promised to never be greedy again, and they lived happily ever after.
Wow, Tia, that was such an adventurous story.
Yeah, Tofu, and do you know why it was my favorite story?
No, tell me.
The story was about a brave boy who wanted to fight against poverty, and in a way, he got a chance to take revenge of his father too. But in the process, he forgot that harming the giant again and again was not ethical, and stealing from the giant's house was also against his morals.
Oh, that's quite a heavy thought for my little brain.
Ha ha ha! Let's go. We are late for dinner. Mom must be waiting. Stop, Tofu.
But why so? I'm just trying to get my ball out.
But see those red ants. You better be careful.
Thanks, Tia.
Sit. I'll tell you an interesting story. The Fox and the Sick Lion. Once upon a time, there lived a lion in the forest. As the lion was growing old, he was unable to hunt for his food. He thought that without food, he would die of starvation. So the lion thought of a plan. He decided to lie down in the cave and pretend that he is ill. And whosoever will come to meet him will become his prey. Being the king of the jungle, the lion announced he was sick and summoned the animals to come and hear his last will. The lion put his sinful plan to practice and it started working. Poor animals didn't know about his wicked plan and fell into his trap. Many of his well-wishers got killed. One day, a fox came to visit the sick lion. The fox was clever and discovered the trick. He stood on the outside of the cave at a respectful distance and asked,
How are you, sir?
I am not feeling well at all. But why don't you come inside to meet me?
No, thank you, sir. I noticed that there are many prints of feet entering your cave, but I see no trace of any returning. Still, if I come inside, I would be a fool.
and the fox saved his life and informed other animals too. So Tofu, the moral of the story is you should never trust a fake person. What are you doing, Tofu?
I'm trying to water the plants, but this hose is broken.
Come, let me tell you a short story. The Clever Crow. The Clever Crow. One hot day, a thirsty crow flew all over the fields looking for water. for a long time, he could not find any water. Suddenly, he saw a water jug below the tree. He flew straight down to see if there was any water inside. Yes, he could see some water inside the jug. The crow tried to push his head into the jug. Sadly, he found that the neck of the jug was too narrow.
What should I do? I am really thirsty. How do I drink water?
Then he tried to push the jug to tilt for the water to flow out, but the jug was too heavy. He looked around and saw some pebbles. He suddenly had a good idea. He started picking up the pebbles one by one, dropping each into the jug. As more and more pebbles filled the jug, the water level kept rising. Soon, it was high enough for the crow to drink. His plan had worked. So, like the clever crow was able to find a solution to the problem by thinking and working hard, would you be able to find one to this too?
Thanks, Tia. Lucky cat. If the other boys hadn't come, she would have lost the fight. She should have just run away instead of fighting with such a big dog. She was bound to lose against a dog.
I don't think so, Tofu.
Dogs are more powerful than cats, Tia.
Maybe so. But when you have courage and fight with intelligence, you can win against anyone. The Jungle Book. Once in the heart of a thick jungle lived a little boy called Mowgli. He did not belong to the jungle, as he was a human child. Yet, he grew up with a family of wolves. His mother, Raksha, cared for him as she cared for her other pups.
Careful, Mowgli, or you'll fall off the ridge.
No, Ma, I won't. See you later. And so Mowgli took off into the jungle to find his friend and teacher, Bagheera. When Mowgli had been a small baby, no more than a year old, he had been found and saved from the forest fire by Bagheera. Of course, nobody knew who Mowgli was, but they always believed he came from the man village at the outskirts of the jungle. Bagheera had handed over Mowgli to the wolves so that he could have a family to grow up with. Since then, Mowgli had learnt the ways of the jungle from his family and his friends Bagheera and Balu. He ran like them, hunted like them, climbed trees like them, and also spoke like them. Hello, Bagheera. What are you going to teach me today?
I won't be teaching you today. Today Balu has something planned for you. Let's go fishing in the river.
Hello, Balu. Let me get a stick to make a spear for fishing.
You don't need a spear to fish.
But it makes it easier.
You can't do it like that, Mowgli. That is not our way.
Then how is it that I know how to make a spear, Balu? Who taught me that? As usual, Bagheera and Balu did not have an answer to Mowgli's questions. The forest fire had started and destroyed the man village. And nobody lived there for a long time. Bagheera had tried many times to find someone to return the child to. But no one was there. When the village settled again, the men put sharp barbed wire fences and laid traps to keep the animals at bay. Although the animals couldn't understand why, all the creatures of the jungle had always maintained a safe distance from the humans. They never meant any harm to them. In any case, the fences and traps made it impossible for Bagheera to return the child back to the human world. Okay, we will do it without a spear. Let's go. The trio set off to the river bank, where Balu showed Mowgli how to catch fish without a spear. Balu would swiftly duck his head into the water and come out with fish in his mouth. Mowgli gave it several tries. Before he was successful. The day passed in the lesson and they decided to head back to the wolf pack. They had almost reached home when Bagheera alerted the other two. There was someone in the bushes ahead in the far right. Soon the others could see a pair of fierce eyes with a scar that ran across the left one, emerging from the bushes. Then the whole figure stepped ahead.
Run, Mowgli, run!
Immediately, Balu and Mowgli took off towards home, leaving Bagheera to fight the large, villainous tiger, Sher Khan. Bagheera and Sher Khan immediately leapt at each other. Sher Khan hadn't expected Bagheera to be so strong and was taken by surprise when he managed to throw Sher Khan against a large tree. The elders of Wolfpack soon joined them. Sher Khan knew he was injured and outnumbered.
You might have saved him today, but the human belongs to me. I will come back for him.
Sher Khan, what are you doing here? This is not your territory.
No territory can keep me out. And the next time I come, I will not spare anyone who stands in my way.
The jungle knew that Sher Khan's threats were not to be taken lightly, and soon worry spread in the wolf pack regarding Mowgli's stay and the pack's future. I can defend myself. I will not let any harm come to my family and friends. I know a way to put an end to this. Mowgli gathered Bagheera and Balu. I know how I came to the jungle. I have seen Sher Khan's eyes only one time before in my life. He attacked our village when I was small. To scare him, the elders used to fire. But he took me and escaped, and the whole village caught fire. When my father followed him to save me, he killed my father.
That is why the villagers have put traps and fences now.
Yes, but now we will stop Sher Khan forever. We know where he sleeps in the day, at the foot of the small mountain on the other side of the river. The bulls feed on the grassy slopes of that mountain. If we can scare them to run down the mountain, Sher Khan won't stand a chance.
That is a good plan, Mowgli.
The trio assured the others that they had found a way out of their troubles, and by tomorrow night, all will be fine. Early next morning, the three set off for the mountain. They went around it and climbed it from the other side so that no one could see them coming. Once on top of it, they could see the bulls eating the grass. Ah! The three leapt at the quiet bulls and rushed towards them, screaming so loudly that the bulls got scared and started running down the hill to escape from them. The plan was working. The whole mountainside shook and rumbled under the stamping of the bulls. This woke up Sher Khan. He saw the bulls rushing towards him. There were scores of them. Scared, he started running away from them.
He is trying to get away.
I won't let him. Mowgli took the tress and swung himself from branches of one tree to another. On the other side, Sher Khan couldn't keep ahead of the bulls. Their sharp horns poked him, and he got trampled under their feet. One would have died, but Sher Khan wasn't an ordinary tiger. He was evil, and trickery was his second nature. He latched onto the horns of one bull and tugged at him. Agitated, the bull threw him aside and over the side of the plateau. Sher Khan held to the edges of the plateau and started climbing up. He had almost made it when a small tree trunk hit him in the face. He lost his grip and fell to his death. It was Mowgli. He had reached the spot and found a small tree uprooted by the bull stampede. With his quick thinking, he had thrown Shere Khan to his end. He had saved himself and protected the entire jungle from the tyranny of this villain. Bagheera, Balu, and Mowgli returned to the wolf pack, where everyone rejoiced on hearing what had happened. So you see, Tofu, to win, you don't always have to be the strongest. If you have courage and think intelligently, you can win against anyone.
Yes, Tia. Now I understand what you meant.
Shall we go down and play with our friends now?
Yes, let's go. I just don't feel like studying. Let's go out and play.
Tofu, exams are just round the corner. Don't you think we should prepare for them first and then play?
But Tia, they are still 2 months away. We can enjoy now and study later.
What if we are not able to study then? Because of some uncertain circumstances?
Why? What would happen then?
You never know what tomorrow has in store for you, Tofu. So one should always be prepared for future. Wait, I have a little story to tell you, and this would cheer you up too. The Ant and the Grasshopper.
Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha.
Why are you working so hard? The Almighty has provided us with food on every tree out here. Why work so much? Just eat and relax and have fun like the way I am doing. Stop working like those dumb ants. Come on, let's play together and feast on the food.
grasshopper. The food that you're enjoying today will not last for long. Please realize that.
Well, where is so much food gonna go? Sure, it's gonna be here forever.
Once the winters arrive, you will know how difficult it would get to gather food. So save today so that you don't starve in winters.
Oh, winters have long time to come. Till then, let's all play and dance and feast on food. I feel hungry and helpless and tired. I haven't eaten anything in days. Did the grasshopper die of hunger? Oh my God! He should have listened to the queen ant. Come on, Tia, tell me what happened next.
Feeling better?
Yes, I am. Thanks for all the help, and I think I have a lesson to learn now. Had I listened to you back then, I wouldn't be so miserably homeless and hungry now. The grasshopper learned a lesson the hard way. Yes, Tofu, but do you know what lesson he learned? Yes. Work today and you can reap the benefits tomorrow. You are intelligent, Tofu. Now let's study today and reap benefits of our hard work tomorrow. For your favorite rhymes, stories and more, join Kids Hut family. Subscribe here.